Hello, and welcome to this webinar that will provide a brief explanation and overview of the High Performance Certification Program for the Department of Local Affairs. This is the first of 3 webinars explaining the program. In these webinars, the Department of Local Affairs will be referred to as DOLA, and the High Performance Certification Program will be referred to as HPCP. Let's get started. The High Performance Certification Program is intended to ensure new buildings and significant renovations meet a higher energy efficiency standard, which is verified by a third party. The intent of this webinar is to provide DOLA grant applicants, as early as possible in their project planning, information to better understand possible high-performance building requirements. Remember, DOLA is always here to serve as a resource if you have any questions regarding your project. Overall, the intent of this program is to encourage highly efficient, healthy buildings. Colorado revised statute requires DOLA to ensure, through third-party verification, that the building projects DOLA helps fund meet high-performance goals. To reference the statute, visit our HPCP webpage. This program benefits people, the economy, and the environment. Practices for green building in general reduce the amount of resources used to build and increase the overall indoor environmental quality. There are also benefits to the owner in the form of long-term savings on energy, maintenance, and operations. The local economy may be boosted from the use of native materials and resources. Finally, building responsibly protects Colorado's environmental, cultural, and historical assets that are valued by residents and visitors. Does your project meet the criteria for this high-performance verification requirement? The first 3 criteria apply to both new construction and renovation, and the 4th and final criterion applies only to renovations. First, will the project receive 25% or more of state funds towards the total project cost? This does not include land purchase. Second, does the project have a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, also known as an HVAC system? For example, if the structure is simply serving as a storage unit without climate control, then HPCP would not apply. Third, is the size of the building project 5,000 gross square feet or more? This applies to new construction, renovation, or a combination of the two. For example, an addition with renovation to the existing structure will combine and increase the project's square feet. Fourth, if your project is a renovation project, is the cost of the renovation work 25% or more of the current assessed or appraised value of the property? The renovation project must meet all of the other 3 criteria as well. It's important to note, if a project does not meet one of the criteria, it is exempt from the HPCP requirements, but it is still encouraged to meet high-performance building goals, taking advantage of the accompanying cost efficiency and other benefits. Building projects that do not meet all of the criteria are exempt from the program. In addition, factory-built structures are exempt from the HPCP requirements. Factory-built structures are designated primarily for commercial, industrial, or other non-residential uses, which are wholly or in substantial part made, fabricated, formed, or assembled in a manufacturing facility for assembly on permanent or temporary foundations at the building site. So, what happens after a project is determined to meet the applicability criteria for HPCP? The DOLA grant applicant should access and complete the electronic registration and waiver/modification form that is located on DOLA's HPCP webpage. The first step is to determine the highest performance certification attainable for the project. You do this by selecting a green building rating system and completing the appropriate checklist. The LEED and Green Globes checklists can be found in the tabs along the bottom of the registration Excel spreadsheet. After completing one of the checklists, the applicant can determine a target certification level based on the project scope and details. To help with this process, the applicant is encouraged to consult an architect, engineer, or other staff member consultant with some technical expertise. Statute requires that verification of high performance is made by a third party. The types of verification recognized by DOLA are leadership in energy and environmental design, also known as LEED, Green Globes, or other third-party verifications such as building commissioning. We will discuss the levels of certification and commissioning in the other webinars in this series. We encourage grant applicants to incorporate high performance early in the planning and building design process. There are a few reasons for this. First, third-party verification will be necessary to consider as part of the budget. These processes also require a well-trained design team to help navigate through the technical aspects of the process. The local project team will need to determine the goal for the level of certification. For communities choosing the LEED third-party verification program, HPCP sets the standard at LEED Gold. For communities choosing Green Globes, the standard is to meet 3 globes. Also, a modification may be granted by DOLA based on project scope. For example, a community may demonstrate they need a modification of this requirement because their building will only be able to achieve LEED Silver. So now you have an overview of the High Performance Certification Program, which will help you navigate the DOLA grant application process. DOLA staff are there to help you throughout your project. If you are awarded a grant, congratulations! Your regional manager will be your key liaison for communications with the HPCP DOLA team. You'll communicate with your regional manager on planning, tracking costs required to comply with HPCP, and assuring conformance to designated HPCP requirements. Make sure you are taking the necessary steps to fulfill and incorporate third-party verification standards. Finally, be prepared to provide documentation regarding the costs of verification and tell us what certification level you were awarded. If you have any questions about the process, do not hesitate to contact your regional manager or Ann Miller at DOLA in the Division of Local Government. We understand it can be a confusing process to undergo, and we are here to support you. Visit the website to see the other resources we have available regarding this subject. We hope this webinar was helpful. Happy building!